Wait. I'd like to call Property Management Committee to order. First order of business, call the roll.
Yes, sir. Commissioner Dodd? Commissioner Davidson? Commissioner Wilson?
Here.
Commissioner Boyd?
Here.
Commissioner Irvin?
Here.
Commissioner Anthony Johnson?
Present.
Chairman McAdoo?
Here. Well, we got a quorum. Next on the agenda, approved minutes. Vice Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I have looked over the minutes, and they seem to be in order, so I move to approve the minutes as sent out.
Motion and second, any discussion? Not all those in favor? Okay, one-stop update, Adam.
End of next week. The tube system install is now complete. Millwork and cabinetry remain at 75%. As mentioned last month, we were waiting on about approximately 22 closed-faced base cabinets to arrive. Well, those units have been delivered to the site, and the subcontractor is installing them now. He anticipates completion possibly by tomorrow or by Monday. The flooring is at roughly 85%. The contractor will be sealing the mechanical, storage, and custodial closet areas next week. FF&E shipments have been arriving this week. Installation of those is approximately 70% complete. We're anticipating more deliveries tomorrow going into next week. The punch list is ongoing, and we will be scheduling training and walkthroughs for the week of May the 29th through June the 2nd. And as of now, the contractor is still targeting the week of June the 19th through the 23rd for a turnover date. Some of the furniture that's been installed. There's their break room, kitchen area. That's the entrance as you come in through the main foyer. That completes my report on One Stop.
Any questions on one-stop?
I didn't hear.
Mr. Phillips?
I didn't hear the opening or the ribbon cutting. You said it, but I didn't get it. So
We haven't selected a date for a ribbon cutting or a grand opening at this time, but that June 19th week, that's the week that the contractor is telling us that we're targeting to move in, and I believe we're going to try a soft opening and test all the systems first before we do a grand opening.
that something
Yes,
like
sir.
late June.
Possibly the first week of July.
Ms. Crowell, do you have any information on that date? That's what he's saying? Okay. Any other questions on One Stop? Next on the agenda, Public Health and Safety Buildings, Adam.
So the Rockville Public Health and Safety location, the fascia and soffit are now complete, but some of the items remaining on our punch list are associated with the fascia, and some of the metal flashing on the building is not satisfactory. Exterior lighting is complete, as reported last month, but we have determined that 3 of those fixtures are not working properly, so we're waiting for replacements for those units. The IT guys are still tweaking some of the security controls. The landscaping and irrigation is now complete, and it has passed inspection. The generator installation and startup is now complete. The PBA, fire, and the EMS departments added stain finishes to the flooring system. That was originally in the contract. It was removed in an effort to value engineer to cut some cost. There's available contingency left in that fund, so they are going back and revisiting that, staining those floors. There were some cosmetic issues with the concrete, and they've decided that giving it a universal stain will improve the cosmetics of the building, and it should be more livable, if you will, and user-friendly to the first responders. So like I said, that there's available contingency to fund that, and so that has delayed us about 2 to 3 weeks for the stain to be ordered and then the installation of that product. We expect those materials to arrive on site the week of June the 5th, and he said to allow, the contractor said to allow 3 to 4 days for install. We are also targeting the June 19th, the week of June 19th, for the Public Health and Safety Building at Rockville, pending the contractor meets all our requirements for the remaining issues that we found with the building. There's your front entrances. Generator. Rear parking lot. Rear facing of the building. That completes my report on the Rockville Public Health and Safety Building.
Questions on Rockwell? Move on to Kittrell.
The Kittrell location, we're in that phase where things are beginning to move quickly. The fascia and soffit is now at 90% complete. The siding and trim is complete. The gutter and downspouts are now complete. Site concrete is at 100%. Permanent power was completed shortly after last month's meeting. The building has been acclimated. The generator fuel and startup is coming next week. HVAC startup is complete. The floor systems, minus the garage bays, are complete, and the contractor anticipates sealing the bays within the next 2 weeks. Dirt work and landscaping are ongoing. They're approximately 50% complete. There was, I do want to touch on this, there was some, to the right of the drive-in lane, that's facing the building. The plans originally shown for an asphalt drive-in lane. When the contractor formed up and poured concrete for the site concrete, he actually formed over into that drive-in lane. So when the contractor caught this, instead of cutting out that concrete and going back in and with a compact grade and asphalt, he determined that it would be more costly for him to cut that extra concrete out. So he agreed to just pour the remainder of that drive-in lane with concrete at no cost to the county, since it was basically a wash. So instead of having an asphalt drive-in lane, that entire site is going to be all concrete now. So that was actually that's a huge value on behalf of the county. So, exterior and interior painting is ongoing. Exterior lighting, electrical and plumbing fixtures are being installed this week. The flagpoles are being installed this week. The contractor anticipates the millwork and cabinetry, those units and trim to be delivered to site next week. So they were painting the day, this was taken Tuesday. You can see they're taping up all the flashing. They're putting plastic on. They're really doing a good job out there. The site looks good. The quality of the workmanship looks good. Some interior photos of one of the bays. That's the tornado shelter. That's the main living area for the first responders. So you can see we've got the floor system down. There's a picture of the wet areas. Those are the showers and restrooms. So that contractor was in there installing fixtures that day. That completes my report on the Kittrell Public Health and Safety Building.
Any questions on Kittrell? All right, next is Las Casas.
July. Does it look like July?
If not sooner. They're moving along well, but I don't have a definite date at this time.
Is that on Kittrell?
Yes, sir.
You'll move on to Las Casas?
So as I mentioned last month, this is that phase where it's kind of a slow go. It doesn't appear necessarily that they're doing a lot, but they are doing a lot. It's not necessarily a lot for pictures. The mass grade is complete. The proof roll is complete. The storm drain layout is almost complete. I would say roughly 90%. The contractor is currently pouring footings. The footings are at roughly 50% complete. Contractor anticipates block to site within 2 weeks. The 4-week look ahead is basically we'll start seeing the CMU walls being built and some electrical and plumbing rough in. That's going to be about the extent of what we're going to be seeing out there over the next 2 to 4 weeks. So that completes my report on Las Casas.
Questions?
Commissioners, I spoke with Mike this week, and we have no new updates on the Walter Hill location at this time.
What about a location down in Amberville?
No new updates at this time on the Del Webb location.
Any questions on Walter Hill? Any questions? Okay, next on the agenda, Goldstein Building.
Commissioners, last month, we went into detail about the schematic phase, design phase of the potential Goldstein Building project. We have determined, this body has determined that it would be costly to proceed. We stated last month that we were going to be returning about 90% of those schematic phase design fees back to the county general. Commissioner Dodd had asked for an itemized list of an estimate on what to attach to that resolution so that you would see kind of the number, the ballpark number that we would be looking at if we proceeded with the project. So that list that you have in front of you is just that list for your records. That's a projected cost of $7,218,439.80.
Questions on Goldstein? Okay, well, thank you, Adam. Next on the agenda, Forensic Center. That meeting date has been moved by the state, and we do not have a date on it yet. Next on the agenda is marker language, and we do have a response back from the Historic Courthouse Board of Trustees, and it's on your iPod. They were in favor of the project, but a couple of recommendations. Do you want me to read it, or can you read it on the iPod, or what? For the audience, I'll go ahead and read it. Mr. Tucker moves, second by Mr. Loffman, to approve the inscription as presented, to recommend against the use of bills of sale, and to recommend against the wayside format and forward to the Property Management Committee. This motion passed unanimously by acclamation. Everyone to understand what came back from the Historic Society Committee? Okay, I got a list of the marker language on your iPad. I'll give you a few minutes to read it.
Mr. Chairman, path forward, will this be presented at the next full county commission meeting for approval?
Well, if it passes committee tonight,
And then it'll go, it'll be ordered, and then it'll be installed sometime in the very near future.
correct. And that's by the Historical Society Board of Trustees. And the African American Society.
They're paying.
They're paying for the marker.
Yep.
Okay. I don't see any delay after the commission approval. Anyone want to hear marker resolution? Not, I intend to entertain a motion to approve.
Mr. Chairman, I have a question.
Go ahead.
I'm reading in the minutes from the Historic Courthouse Museum Board of Trustees that their approval had some recommendations against a couple of items. We don't have something presented in PDF form to read what their final version of what they wanted to see was. I think looking over here, it said they wanted to exclude bills of sale.
Okay.
or just recommend against it. But of course, it says in our marker language PDF that it says bills of sale would be included. So just to ask a question, if a motion were be made to be in line with what the Historic Courthouse Museum Board of Trustees decided, it would be to make a motion to approve as they presented, or as with their suggestions of what to exclude. Is that correct?
That's correct.
I just wanted to confirm that.
At the full commission meeting, it may be changed, but we're going with the Historical Society recommendation, and that's what will be presented to the full commission. Other questions? Do I have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to approve the Wayside exhibit as recommended by the Historic Society. Move that to the County Commission for approval.
Got a motion, do I hear a second? Second by Commissioner Boyd. Any other discussion? If not, call the roll.
Commissioner Wilson,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd,
Yes.
Commissioner Irving, Commissioner Anthony Johnson,
Aye.
Chairman McAdoo.
Yes.
Motion passes.
At the next commissioner meeting, will be presented as presented to us from the Historical Society Board of Trustees.
June 15th.
15th. June the 15th at 6 p.m. Okay, next on the agenda, CCRC, Michael Smith. I think Anthony had asked the information about the operational cost, how much money the county had put into it the last 5 years, and we don't have that information yet. Therefore, we'll hopefully have it at the next meeting. Okay, next on the agenda, naming of county-owned buildings.
Gentlemen, as you will recall, I was here last month at the very end of the meeting and presented to you some guidelines that the mayor and Chairman McAdoo had asked me to put together in regards to naming of county-owned buildings, and nothing's changed since last month, so still have the same guidelines that we had last month. Take any questions you may have.
Questions? Commissioner Wilson?
Thank you, Chairman. I believe Chairman Phillips had asked for some input from the full commission. If it's something that we made a motion to move forward, what would the next step be? Does it actually go to the commission for further discussion? What would the next movement be?
So this is not a resolution. So I would say that probably the next step would be to take this, get with Nick, put it in the form of a resolution, and then bring that to the full commission. I don't think we're asking for any votes here tonight. These are just guidelines to see if you like them or if you don't. So we would come back to this committee at least one more time if there's no suggestions.
Each commissioner was supposed to get information so they could look at it. And
Mr. Chairman,
Jeff?
I would still like to see the information that was disseminated last month to this committee disseminated at the full commission for all commissioners to take a look at it too before it came back to this commission so that everybody could have input. It would kind of create a more open situation to where there probably would eliminate a lot of discussion at the full commission meeting by asking questions. So the information that was disseminated, Eric, here, if we could just have a copy and give that to every commissioner at our next meeting, and explain to them what we're doing. If you have input, get with a member of this committee. And
So Chairman Phillips, I believe that a copy of this was emailed to every commission member by the mayor's office. And I have not received any response from that. I'm looking at Rachel, she's not saying she's not received any response from that either.
I don't remember getting it, but I probably did. Did anybody else get it? Everybody else get it? I don't remember getting it.
No, Chairman, I had a hard copy, so if I got it, I probably deleted it because I wasn't needing it. So you're exactly right. I don't recall if it did or not. And I know the chairman's just trying to make sure we're kind of be expedient, and if we can get suggestions in a non-messy way, then take up a full commission meeting. What's the most efficient way to get that information, that discussion?
I mean, we're going to be coming back here at least one more time, so I don't see any reason why the mayor's office, if we didn't send it out, we could do it.
Whether we send it out or not, let's go ahead and send it out again. And ask for each commissioner to respond back to it prior to the June 15 commissioner meeting at 6 o'clock. Commissioner Phillips.
It will be put under property management agenda to explain that process, okay? So
That would be fine. But our response need to be turned in for June the 15th, and we will send it out again.
That's perfect, thank you. And once again, if we explain that at the next commission meeting, it would actually be 2 different months where that process could be made clear and everyone would have a real chance to digest that process and have input. It's a big deal, naming a building forever after someone, so I really want us to get this right, and Eric, thank you for all of your input there. The question that I would have, just a minute ago, we had the Bart Smith building, and to me, that doesn't tell me as a Rutherford County citizen what that building does, okay? What's the Bart Smith building? It really, in my mind, should be Bart Smith one-stop building. That's what it should be, and it may be that's what the signage will say, but not only after the person, but what the building actually is and what it does.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Johnson?
if I recall on that building, it says Bart Smith Building, but out by the road, it tells it's a one-stop building.
That's exactly right, and that's what it should say. In my mind,
That's what it should say, because we got more out there than just Lisa Quarrel. We got several other projects on that site. We also got a library coming, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, on that site. It's not ours, I guess the library committee, but it's been approved to build a library out there. And got the state out there. State got their tag building or whatever lease out there. And I don't know what else is coming out there. But to say one stop, it would be several buildings out there. And I think a sign that's out there by the road is set up where we can add the names of what buildings are on that site.
I think all this is covered in that resolution that Eric is talking about, but just wanted to make sure that when we name these buildings, the purpose of the building is also in that process. Bart Smith one-stop building is in my mind what it should be. It'll be the one-stop building for the rest of my life, and it'll be Bart Smith forever, as far as I know, or I'm concerned. So the building not identified just as a one-stop building, but it's identified by honoring Bart Smith. So Bart Smith one-stop building, the signage out there is absolutely perfect.
Yeah, and Chairman, I drove by that yesterday, and it is a big, marvelous sign on the corner that clearly says one stop. So you definitely can see what that is, and of course, the Bart Smith Building is on the side of that, so it looks really good.
And
Right.
Chairman Phillips, I can confirm, we just checked, that it was sent to all commissioners on April the 27th.
Right.
So, I think the mayor's office position would be that we just finish it here and then take it to the full commission, so that we can, kind of work through it here as we have done, and then present it. We've already sent it to all of the commissioners for their input if they had any suggestions, and I don't think that the mayor's office has received any response to that.
Okay, my response was that I don't remember getting it, but if we've got it, it's probably me that's overlooked it, and I'll go back and revisit that. But it'll still be on the agenda for the full commission for
June the 15th.
the chairman, for Chairman McAdoo to explain that it's there. You guys take a look at it. If you have input, talk to a commissioner or come to property management and ask your questions. Thank you.
There's a discussion on naming the building. Also, I would like to make sure that we include the planning commission representative to be there with their information on it. Okay, next on the agenda, parking, which we're still working on and do not have a final decision from the city of Murfreesboro yet. So we'll put that off until next month, until we get a final decision from Murfreesboro. Okay, is there any other business to come before the committee tonight?
Just briefly on the
Commissioner
parking.
Johnson?
On the parking, could you explain what the discussion is?
Last month, the mayor brought up that he was trying to negotiate with the city of Murfreesboro for the county employees to be able to park within the inner circle of the courthouse, of the courthouse. Reason being, it basically being security, because if they have to park down at the parking garage, they'll have to walk, and then sometime when they work over or whatever, it'll be dark and have to walk. And that's the main reason that he wanted to park, and if we could reach an agreement with the city of Murfreesboro, have the county employees parking to be within the inner circle of this building. Commissioner Johnson?
So cars parking in the inner circle, if they don't move within a certain amount of time, they're ticketed now?
Correct.
That was what
Not on the,
it was my understanding the inner circle was ours, and they went on the outer circle.
No.
That changed since I left
that's
up here.
changed since you've been here. Also, the mayor wants some type of identification to be put on the vehicle for the county employee. The inner circle parking will be county employee, not the 2-hour parking deal and all that good stuff. It'd be county employee parking. Period. Any other discussion on that? Go ahead.
I'm just a little confused why we have to go to Murfreesboro for permission when it's my understanding that the inner circle is county property.
Well, county mayor would have to explain that to you, but I think it was a policy or something that was brought up under our previous mayor on certain rules and regulation on that parking. So the county mayor wants to go to the city of Murfreesboro and clear out all previous agreements and come back with this one agreement. The county employees will be the ones that park within the inner circle with an identification that they are a county employee. That's all the information I got. And just as soon as I get some more from the county mayor, we'll pass it on. But right now, they're still working on it. Discussion on it? Commissioner Phillips?
I don't have an issue with county employees have been parking in that inner circle for as long as I've been up here. I don't have a problem with it, but I need to think through just county employees parking there. You know, if a person has business in the courthouse, I think they ought to be able to park there too. If they're coming to pay their taxes or something like that, I think there should be some exceptions to that. And maybe there is, maybe we just don't know about them yet. But
No.
if you've got business in this courthouse, I think that those people should be able to park there too.
Well, if you look at it right now, you got, and I don't know who approved it, but you got 2 parking spaces for business with the mayor. You got 2 parking spaces allocated for business with the tax office. That's done right now. I don't know who approved it. It had to come through the mayor. So therefore, I'm pretty sure the mayor got a plan for all of it. And just as soon as we know what that plan is and the agreement he reached with Murfreesboro, I'll bring it to you. But right now, I have no idea of that final plan. I do know they're working on it. Any other discussion? Commissioner Wilson?
I got the email. I just hadn't seen it.
Commissioner Wilson?
Chairman, I just wanted to do a rare property management shout out like we do in our full meetings. We had a full choir come and sing for us at our last commission meeting, and I just want to say thank you to Adam Dodd and Cody York for making it a seamless, wonderful experience for the choir that came. They pulled right into parking spaces that were saved for them. They rolled right in. Cody had all the technology together to make a wonderful broadcast for people to watch. So just, again, excellent county employees, and my gratitude to them for making that a seamless, wonderful experience for our guests. Thank you.
Yeah, it was. Adam done a wonderful job, and Cody on that, and the choir was excellent. Excellent. Any more discussion or any other business to come up tonight?
Have a wonderful holiday weekend. Remember what Memorial Day holiday is all about. People who supported this country with their very lives. But have a wonderful holiday weekend. Thank you.
Yep.
Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Commissioner Johnson?
Discussion on tour before our next meeting.
Well, there's been a couple of buildings brought up for a tour, but this is May, and all of June we'll be discussing the budget discussion. In July, as you know, we try not to meet. So more than likely, we probably will not be looking at another tour until August. Unless the committee want to change that. Up to the committee. But I do know June is a busy, I hope you're studying the budget. But it is a busy month because I think we got 2 full commissioner meetings in June, don't we, Mr. Chairman?
Our next meeting, I think I said, is the 16th, and then I believe it's the 29th, Monday, about that date. We'll have our annual set the property tax meeting. 26. Thank you, Commissioner Johnson. And I'll also go ahead and remind everyone that our July meeting, we usually take that off the calendar, but it's been put back on the calendar because we've had so much discussion this year on legislative activity, and that meeting is back on the calendar for July just in case we need it. There's a real probability that it will be canceled, but it is not canceled at this particular what happens, and it probably won't be canceled if it's canceled until the
Commissioner Johnson?
June 26th budget meeting, is that correct? And what time of the day is that? Till 9 a.m. Okay, thank you.
Any other discussion? Move to adjourn. Do I hear a second?